One, go.
It's UFC 315, Meat Boy episode 214, and it's Canadian locks this weekend. A pretty fun card, and I'm excited. My boy Bilal Muhammad is going to take on Jack Della to defend his belt. Should be fun, but let's quickly recap UFC Iowa from last week. If you're looking for this week's locks, go straight to the comments. Find the timestamps, but it was one of those weeks, Meat Boy, where your boy goes 4-1. You went 2-3, but the one that I missed, the one that we missed, Meatlock, Ponzinibbio got absolutely slept by D-Rod, and it was 1-1 heading into third. Ultimately, Pons got slept. We've dropped two straight Meatlocks. What were your thoughts on the Ponzinibbio L of a Meatlock?
Yeah, Pons is an absolute bomb. That's really all I gotta say.
It was tough, right? And the fact that D-Rod got that one done and rebounded from his L streak, impressive for sure. But it's two straight, Meat Boys. We got to get back on track, absolutely. And last week, your boy Figgy got smoked. Corey Sandhagen looked amazing. RDR got a beautiful finish. I called that one as a plus 500, plus 600 RDR finish pick. And we were both all over Surrey City, and we were all over Mason Jones by decision when Tapology was overwhelmingly bullish on the finish. So we had some good stuff from last week, but the Meatlock ultimately did not come through. So are we trying to hop straight into 315 and go straight to the Malak?
100% we're trying to go to the Meatlock.
Swap us through that, me boy. Mike Malott is taking on Charles Radke, aka Chuck Buffalo, and Mike Malott should be a Mike Meatlock in this one. He is the prelim headliner. He's coming in basically carrying the mantle as far as the promotion is concerned. Every time this kid is on a fight card, he's essentially selling the card the best. And obviously, the UFC has been behind him. The Canadian fans are overwhelmingly behind him, and he's had a good career so far, right? He had the one loss to Neil Magny, a fight he was fighting well in, but in the third round ultimately just got outmanned and out-veteraned by Neil Magny. But beyond that, he's 4-1 in the UFC, coming off a nice, easy win over Trevin Giles. And Chuck Buffalo is just one of those guys who, yes, he got a nice recent finish over Semi the Jedi. Semi the Jedi is getting slept by everyone, so how much stock can you put into that for sure? So, what do you like about this Meatlock? How do you think Mike Malak gets this one done in the prelim headlining spot? And is it going to be early or often?
Yeah, I think Meat Malak, he gets it done via submission, ground and pound. One of those, he'll get it done on the ground for sure, though.
Yeah, Tapology is kind of seeing it the exact same way. They too are bullish on Maylock. However, majority is going by decision. So is there any chance that Charles Radke can survive this one if Mike Maylock isn't able to get this one to the ground as you're anticipating and pick up the finish over Chuck Buffalo? Could this go the distance?
I mean, if it goes the distance with Chuck Buffalo, I'll be very surprised and upset because I expect great things from the Meat Malak.
Yeah, that's a good point for sure. He should be able to finish a guy like Chuck Buffalo. So let's keep it simple, Meat Boy. Let's throw down 384. It'll net 200, get the Meatlock back on track, and get us to 118 and 73 overall, keeping us well within the green for sure. Let's roll with the Canadian hype train in Mike Malak. I say he also picks up a finish. Let's go by strikes in the third round, though. Maybe Chuck Buffalo has a granite chin for 10 minutes, but ultimately gets cracked by a Tim Hortons bomb in the third round. So last thoughts on the Meatlock, or you want to swap us through to your boy E1?
No, let's go to Mr. Hulk himself.
Move us to the Hulk because this one's funny. It's a pick'em. Modestus Bukauskas, the Baltic Gladiator, taking on Iwan Kutelaba, the Hulk. And Iwan is obviously a Meat Boy staple. We can't go through a fight breakdown session without touching on the Hulk. And what can you say about Iwan? The guy's kind of back, right? I mean, he's had this up and down career in the UFC, a lot of great highs, a lot of low lows, but Iwan's only 31 years old, right? I think it's easy to assume that the Hulk is pushing 41 with all the UFC experience, but he really is still a young guy and in his prime, and he's won two straight, both in fights he was a dog against Ivan Urslan, and then months later, funnily enough, Ibo Aslan. So two dudes with the exact same sounding names, and now he's taking on Bukauskas, who he too has kind of had an up and down UFC journey, but it's been good for him as well lately, right? Two straight finishes over Rafael Cerqueda as a dog and over Marcin Prachnau, who is a bad fighter. But nonetheless, good stuff for both guys. Pick them for each. Who are you going on this one? You taking the Baltic Gladiator or you're riding Ewan as a near pick?
Yeah, I gotta go with Mr. Hulk. I think he's going to absolutely destroy the Gladiator. I mean, we have seen Hulk fight in a arena, in Thor 3, and Hulk smashed.
Yeah, very true. Great point for sure. And Tapology is picking the Gladiator, right? 57% rolling with Modestus, 43% going with E1, but a lot of brown on both sides. Do you anticipate somebody getting absolutely flatlined in this contest? And if so, is it going to be early for E1 over Bukowskis?
I gotta imagine that it'll probably be early for E1. It's either early he gets the finish or early he gets finished because his gas tank is very sus. I don't think much is gonna happen if he doesn't get it done in the first round.
Yeah, I think the one redeeming aspect of the gas tank, which has featured questionable aspects for sure, is at least he went the distance against Yvonne Urslan just a couple months ago, and it was a split decision. I thought it should have been unanimous, but either way, it was nice to see Yvonne against a hype beast go the entire distance and not fade like he has historically in the past. So I like Yvonne in this one too, Meepo. I think that it's a good fight, and it wouldn't be surprising if Yvonne somehow gets slept, but this can be a dogfight. Both dudes land strikes, and I think E1 by sub even has as well. So E1 by finish is for me. I'm gonna go second round. What round are you taking E1?
I gotta go E1 first round. If he doesn't get first round, then it starts getting a little more sus each round that goes by.
Let us know for sure. He's got E1 in the first. I'll take the second. Or are you taking Modestas Bukauskas? But swap us through me, boy. This one's interesting. Alexa Grasso, the former champ, fighting a few fights before the title fight in her division. And she's a plus 205 dog despite being the recent champ. And is taking on Natalia Silva, who is all the rage in the UFC. She has basically not even been in many close fights. She's been dominating all of her opponents. I guess the most recent contest was a split, was a unanimous decision, but it was fight of the night, so it was back and forth, you could say. But Natalia Silva's been dominant. Are you surprised at all? That's where I want to focus. Are you surprised at all by the odds and the fact that she's a minus 250 favorite over someone as tough as Grasso, who has the championship experience, who had the belt? What do you make of the odds?
Yeah, I think the odds are honestly pretty crazy. I think Grasso is a veteran. I think she should get this done. I think she was the champ. I think she should be able to beat this person, but I don't know how good is this girl, and this is a great level test to find out. If she just smokes Grasso, then wow, this girl could be future champ. But if she gets smoked, well, it's kind of what I'm thinking. So I got to go with Grasso on this one.
Yeah, good stuff. It's interesting because they're basically the exact same size. Grosso is 3 years older, but Tapology is it's basically a split. 51% going with Grosso, 49% going with Silva, despite the fact that Silva is a 2-1 dog or 2-1 favorite for sure. So if you're taking Grosso, do you like it by decision? Does this probably go the distance, or any chance Grosso picks up a finish? I mean, this is again the woman who not only took the belt from Shevchenko, but put her out cold with a gnarly submission. So any chance Silva gets finished by Grosso, or do you like this going all 15?
I do like this going all 15, but it wouldn't surprise me if Grasso gets a sneaky submission in there because we haven't really seen this girl get to the ground, but we know how good Grasso is on the feet and on the ground, so it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. It's a good fight for sure. I've been going back and forth. I'm just gonna roll Silva though, me, but I think that she might be that good, and I've been picking against her historically, but she keeps dominating, and maybe she is better than even this version of Alexa Grasso. But maybe this could be a levels test, and at plus 205, that's juicy odds for Grasso that I don't blame anyone for trying to capitalize on for sure. But I'll take Silva decision. Sounds like you have Grasso decision. Any last thoughts on this one?
No, this is a sweet fight, fun fight nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Move us through then, because Jose Waldo, is still fighting in the UFC. I thought he had a retirement fight like 5 fights ago, but apparently he's back, still there, taking on Ayman Zahabi, and he's a minus 218 favorite, and this one is Aldo, plus 180 is Zahabi. And Ayman Zahabi, obviously the younger brother of Faraz, has really kind of found a resurgence in this division, and he's on a nice 5 fight win streak. He only has one finish in there within the last four, and it was against Orichi Lang, but he's going out there. He's really dominating guys and getting good wins, right? Javid Bashrat, he really outclassed. And then most recently, Pedro Munoz, which a lot of people consider to be a pretty solid levels test. So any life for Ayman Zahabi in this one as a plus 180 dog, or do you like Aldo at minus 218 to keep being the veteran, I guess, gatekeeper who puts away guys like Zahabi?
Yeah, I think Aldo's just built different. I think he will put this guy out. I think he'll actually get the finish in the second or third round. I think Aldo's just way too good, and this is a massive level test for Zahabi.
It is a level test for sure, and we haven't seen Jose Aldo pick up a finish in a long time. It was actually 2019 against our boy Hanato Moicano, which sounds crazy now, but it's been a long time since he's picked up a finish. If you remember, Zahabi was the one who ate that one of the gnarliest spinning back elbows ever from Ricardo Ramos way back in 2017, and that was the last time Zahabi got finished. So if you're taking Jose Aldo by finish, what gives you bullishness on that call, knowing that Zahabi hasn't been slept since UFC 217 in 2017, and Jose Aldo hasn't gotten a finish since COVID?
Yeah, he definitely hasn't got finished since COVID, so he might be due, but I don't know. I think Aldo gets this done KO for sure.
He might be due, could just be simply the best explanation. And when it comes to the YOLO of picking MMA fights, then oftentimes that's the best idea. So I don't blame you, Meat Boy. I'm ultimately going to roll with, I'm back and forth on this one. Final pitch for why Jose Aldo gets this one done. Even, I mean, I guess he's only a year older than Zahabi, so you can't even really point to the age. What do you like about Aldo stylistically in this one against Zahabi?
Although I mean his striking is going to be definitely unmatched. It comes down to the grappling, but Aldo's been with the best. Who has he not seen? What has he not seen? He's seen it all. Is the hobby something really new and like mind blowing? Is he a new, 22-year-old absolute killer? No. He's kind of a D2 scrub. So I think the D2 scrub is going to get exposed and be sent to the Shadow Realm and maybe BKFC.
Yeah, this might just be D2 versus D1 for sure. I like where your head's at, Meat Boy. I like your point of Jose Aldo's probably seen everything that Zahabi's going to offer, and Jose Aldo has some of the best takedown defense, defensive grappling, anyways. So it's not like Zahabi's a big wrestling threat. You're right in the sense that where is Zahabi going to be better in this fight against even this version of Jose Aldo? So I'll take Jose by decision. I don't see him picking up a finish, but you say he's due, and that would be a masterful call if Aldo gets a finish in this one. Any last thoughts on Aldo versus Zahabi?
No, I think Aldo gets this done pretty convincingly.
Convincingly for sure. I'm excited for it. Swap us through Let Me Boy. It's the co-meet, and it's the 125 belt on the line. Shevchenko has restored herself as the division's top fighter, but she's taken on Manon Fiorot, and surprisingly, despite owning the belt, is Shevchenko. She's a plus 124 dog against Manon, the Beast Fiorot, who at minus 148 is really dominating. I think that she's made believers out of a lot of people, a lot of UFC fans that perhaps weren't on board in the first place. But what can you say? Because she's 12-1, she's 7-0 in the UFC. Her recent wins include Aaron Blanchfield, dominant, and Rose Namajunas, also dominant. So two beautiful wins. And if you remember, she also finished Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci early in her UFC career. So this is someone who arguably should be undefeated. She's getting better each fight, but she's taking on Shevchenko, who's arguably the GOAT. So are you taking Shevchenko as a dog, as the champ dog, or is Manon coming and it's the Fiero era?
Yeah, I'm just not sold. Even though she's proven me wrong every time and time again, it's like it's the bullet. How do you go against the bullet? And bullet as a dog is juicy tenders to my lips. So I gotta take the bullet on this one.
67% of Tapology is rolling that same way. 33% is going with the Beast. So most of the Tapology Timmies also like Shevchenko as a champ dog, which you don't often see. But if you're taking Shevchenko, where do you like her as far as any stylistic advantages she might have? And do you think that this fight goes into the championship rounds? And if so, who do you think that favors? Because Manon Fiorot obviously doesn't have as much 5 round experience as the Bullet, but she did just go the distance. She went all 5 rounds with Aaron Blanchfield and really looked dominant throughout all 25. And if you remember, when she actually won her EFC Women's Flyweight Championship way back in 2019, that also was a 5 round contest. So do you like Shevchenko to dominate the championship rounds, or do you see this fight being close through 25 minutes, but Shevchenko just edges? Or does she get a finish?
I think Shevchenko might either get a finish on the ground or she just edges. I think this will be a close fight. I think her opponent is big and massive, but we've seen Shevchenko take down big girls before. So I don't know. We'll see how good she is, but I gotta believe that Shevchenko should be able to take her down at will and get this sub.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure because you got to imagine if there are advantages, then it's on the ground for sure for the bullet. But as you mentioned, the Beast is a physically imposing woman. She's a beast for a reason. So this one I think is close, me boy. But I'm gonna roll with the hype train. I'm gonna take Manon Fiorot. I've been picking her a lot throughout this run of her. So let's say she's ready for this challenge because I know a lot of people believe she is. I understand picking the bullet though. I mean, it's a safe pick, and if you're getting bullet as a dog, that is definitely juicy for sure. I'll ride the yellow though. I'll continue the hype train. I'll take the beast by decision or maybe even a late finish somehow, but don't consider it the most bullish take from your boy. So I got Manon, you got the bullets. Any last thoughts on the co-meet?
No, I think this is a great co-meet. I think it's a fun fight, and this will be I'm very interested to see if Shevchenko pulls this off or she done so.
Yeah, it's a dope fight for sure. We shall see. A lot will be revealed, but swap us through me, boy. It's the last one. The one I'm most excited for because I'm hopeful that by now everyone has remembered the name. Bilal Muhammad, the champ, is taking on Jack Della Maddalena, and this is a fight where it seems like the last couple weeks I've really seen a lot more people starting to believe, starting to pick Jack Della, which the odds are still backing the remember the name Bilal Muhammad, but I'm seeing a lot of sharps picking JDM in this one. I'll cut straight to the chase, me boy, because this is one that we could honestly talk about for an hour, but are you taking Bilal to defend his belt, or is Jack Della coming through to not only take the belt from Remember the Name, but also maybe flatline him?
Yeah, he could flatline remember the name, but I don't know. Remember the name might be that next guy, and he seems that he is peaking. He has, the confidence through the roof. And Jack, he almost lost to a day one half-ass. So I don't know. I just think that Bilal is a different caliber, and I think he's gonna ragdoll Jack. If Bilal gets scared for whatever reason, Jack's gonna knock him out, though. That is for sure. But I don't know. I don't see it. That would be crazy.
It's good points for sure. I mean, you mentioned the Basil half-ass fight, which again, 48 hours notice basically for Basil. Debutant arguably wins that fight, but Jack emerges with the fight of the night split decision. Since then, he did pick up a second split decision over Kevin Holland, a fight that was very close. Very close. I think some people, maybe even myself included, picked Kevin to win that fight, but the fight after that was performance of the night. Beautiful finish over Gilbert Burns. That was back and forth too, though. So it's like Jack Della's getting these nice wins, but they're very close competitive fights, and Bilal, meanwhile, has been really dominant throughout his last at least two, arguably three contests. So it levels up. However, one win that I do want to point to for Jack Della, which I think impressed both of us, was his performance of the night. First round finish over Randy Rude Boy Brown, who is a massive guy in the division, is on a beautiful win streak of his own. If we're looking at the Randy Brown win for Jack Della, what's the pathway for how Jack Della could get this one done over Bilal Muhammad? Because Bilal's my boy, right? I'm obviously picking him. I'm not going to go against him, but like, why are so many people, do you think, picking Jack? And if he does have a pathway, what is it?
I think people are still hating on Bilal. I don't think they realize how good he is. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, unless I'm missing something with Jack, and you could even call me a Jack hater because I don't think I've ever picked Jack Della 'cause I just don't think he's good. But he keeps proving me wrong. We'll see on this one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're picking Jack on this so much. It's kind of alarming, but maybe I'm the casual. We shall see.
Yeah, I'm with you because I'm seeing it the same way. I'm just trying to sort of think outside of the box a little bit because, again, I'm taking Bilal. I think this is going to be maybe it's a fight where Jack has one solid round, maybe even drops Bilal early, but once Bilal gets his wrestling going, getting his takedown going, I mean, we saw Basil half-ass dominate him on the ground, and if you're getting ragdolled by 48-hour Basil, then, I mean, Bilal Muhammad should make easy light work of you in that capacity for sure. So I'm going to go Bilal. 64% Tapology is rolling the same. 36% though going JDM, it's basically all Brown. So they think that Bilal Muhammad will get his lights shut out. I'm ultimately going to go Bilal. Are you thinking he's going to get a finish in this one, or is it going to be a grinder of a decision that goes all 25?
Man, I think it's gonna go all 25. I think if there is a finish, Jack probably gets that finish. I don't know if Bilal gets a KO, that would be insane to be honest.
Yeah, good points. I'm also gonna be looking at Bilal by sub. Maybe that has some life for sure, but I could see this going 25. Maybe it's one of those just like uber toughness style fights from Jack Della where he's eating a lot of ground and pound and arguably could get TKO'd on the ground, but finds a way to survive. And we're lauding the toughness of JDM, but celebrating the dominance for Bilal Muhammad in so doing. So I'll go Muhammad officially by decision. I hope he gets this one done though, because obviously Bilal Muhammad's my boy, and is he coming around to some UFC fans, or is he still public enemy number one for zero reason?
It kind of feels like he's public enemy number one for zero reason, just because of the way I don't know his demeanor. Maybe they just don't like his vibe or his attitude or what it is. But I mean, it's just like Ian Gary. If you're not a fan, you still gotta respect where respect is due. I mean, the guy is talented, and he's been a pretty dominant champ. So if he gets ragdolled by Jack Della is the goat. That would just be crazy.
Yeah, good stuff for sure. I feel like he's just trying to rock shades inside, but it is what it is, meat boy. We broke down six this week, UFC 315 from Canada. Last week was an okay week, but again, the Meatlock missed. What are your final thoughts on UFC 315? And of the six, what is your record after UFC 315?
UFC 315. I think I'm gonna go 3-3 on this one.
3-3 for your boy. I say 5-1 again. Any last thoughts on UFC 315, meat boy? Are we good?
No, this is a great card. Crazy that it's already here. Can't wait. Throw in the comments who you think's gonna win and why. Smash the meat, subscribe.